Welcome to the latest edition of Brotherly Love FC, a special bi-coastal edition of our show today. Chris O'Connell coming to you from downtown Los Angeles. I'm here covering the Phillies NLDS against the Dodgers. Game 4 tonight at Dodger Stadium. Big night here. Actually a huge day in Philadelphia sports. Not only do we have the Phillies playing, we got the Flyers starting their season, we got the Eagles playing against the Giants up at the Meadowlands tonight. Huge day, but I cannot overlook one of the biggest stories in Philadelphia sports this week, and that is the Philadelphia Union capturing the Supporter Shield of the MLS. What a fantastic, fantastic celebration that was Saturday night. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk to one of the players who was on the field in just a minute. But thank you so much for joining us. This show is all about the beautiful game, all the way from the FIFA World Cup to the Philadelphia Union down to our youth developmental leagues. Let's bring in my co-host, Tom Loudon, soccer dad extraordinaire. When we talk about this sport, when we talk about this show, the reason why we developed this show was to cover all facets of sports. That includes youth soccer, Tom.
Absolutely. We want to cover it all, and that's why we started the show now. First off, it's good to see you have the powder blue on like the Phillies last night, so hopefully that works again tonight for them. I'm hoping they wear them again. But one of the things we want to do on this show, in addition to talking about the Union and the World Cup, is show off all the players around the area. We've been asking you to send the highlights. We have another great one today, a few actually. We're going to start off with the Steel United sent us this from the 2015 boys team. This is Sammy Baloff with took the ball all the way in and scored. This was from a win this weekend. Great play by him. Thank you for them sending in the highlights. Keep sending them in. Follow us on Instagram and send them in at brotherly_love FC. We can't wait to see all of your highlights and pictures so we can show them off, and we have a couple more later in the show.
All right, Tom, I got some highlights of my own. Like we were saying, Saturday night, Philadelphia Union capturing the Supporter Shield. That is the MLS, most points in the league for the regular season. It was their second Supporter Shield. Take a look at some video. The Union invited me and my wife down. It was just a fantastic night in Chester. We were on the field, treated to a 1-0 win and a trophy celebration at home. A great night in Chester. Sons have been in full effect. We had to, just a great celebration, and we had to bring in one of the guys who was on the pitch on Saturday night. I want to get his thoughts. Nathan Harriel, Union defender, also a homegrown talent for the Union. And Nathan, thanks for coming into the studio. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. I hope you understand.
All good. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts. Supporter Shield, what was it like capturing that, hoisting that shield in front of a hometown crowd? Give me your thoughts on that Saturday night.
Yeah, anytime you can lift the trophy as a team at the end of the year, it's a huge deal. We put a lot of work into it this entire season, starting back in January, at preseason in Spain to now, our last game is New York City, and winning at home in front of our fans was just really memorable. Back in 2020 is when we won the first one, but that was during COVID. So, I think we had maybe like 500 people in the stadium. Versus on Saturday night, it was a full house, 19,000 people, and be able to just win it at home in front of all those people. It was just so magical. But we do understand there's more to play for still. The Sports Show is awesome to win, but we also want to win the MLS Cup at the end of this year.
So we talked about a little bit about this before the show. Talk about the journey of the season, because obviously, like you said, MLS Cup, everybody wants to win that. But the grind that is a regular season with the stoppages, the transfer windows, getting through injuries. Talk about how difficult that is to keep the momentum, because you guys have been consistent all year, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah, it's really, really hard, really, really difficult. You have your national breaks, you have players leaving, you have players coming in. But this year we did really well with all that type of stuff. It's just the year's a grind. It's not easy. This year for ourselves was a roller coaster. There was a lot of highs, a lot of lows. But the team itself did a really good job staying steady, not getting too high in those good moments, not getting too low in those bad moments. There's a lot of games midweeks. There's a lot of squad rotation because Why are hurting. Everyone's a little bit frustrated at times, but we did well with it. The coaching staff did really good with it, managing everybody, which is huge to do in the regular season. And yeah, it paid off at the end of the year.
We've talked a little bit on this show about how coming into the season, maybe from the outside, the expectations weren't there. People weren't sure. Obviously, coaching changed, different players coming in. At what point, whether it be during camp or beforehand, did you say, you know what, we have something here? Like, did something show to you that clicked, like, all right, we're here?
I think we always knew that we'd be a good team. I mean, yes, you got a new coach, you bring in some new guys, but at the same time, look at the history of us in the past 5 years. We've been at the top points title each of those years. We had one bad year last year, and that 1 year doesn't define who we are. I could say I knew we were special after the LA game at home. We were down 2-0 early in the first half. It wasn't our best game, it wasn't our best performance, and we bounced back and we won 3-2. And at that moment, I knew this team was different. Like the character that every single guy in the locker room has to fight. Whether you start, you come off the bench, you're not even on the roster. Everybody contributed this year to some huge results. There's a lot of games that we won at the death. In Toronto, we were down 1-0 in I think the 85th minute, and we came back and won 2-1. Charlotte at home again, won in like the last kick of the game actually. So yeah, there's a lot of fight in this group, and the moment's never too big for us.
Nathan, you said the supporter shield is great and all, and it was a fantastic celebration. But there's more to do. What's the mindset now going in? Top seed, first one to clinch, supporter shield. Everyone's looking at you now. What's the attitude going into the playoffs?
Yeah, we understand that we have a target on our back for sure. Winning the supporter shield's great, but at the same time, there's still more work to do. We have one last game on, I believe it's the 18th in Charlotte to finish out the regular season. But then again, we kind of have to have a clear mindset, restart the mind, and look forward to playoffs, because the playoffs is a drag. It's not easy. Every single team in the playoffs is a team you don't want to face. But at the same time, we don't fear anybody. We have home field advantage, which is great. Get the crowd behind us, and we're really just excited for it. It's another opportunity to show every single team in MLS who we are, and that we're not just a lucky team. We're built for these moments, and we're well prepared.
So you hear this debate in every sport, the rest versus rust. How do you overcome that? You just said you have your one more game on the 18th, and then there's I believe almost like a bye the week after that because the 8-9 game. So you have a 3-week period where you may have one match, and then you got to get ready for a playoff game, which obviously everything's at stake. How do you manage that, and what's your approach to that?
Yeah, I think it's the way that we train still. Even on this bye week we have right now, the intensity of training is still extremely high. The mindset is always to dominate. It's not just to win, it's just to dominate teams, dominate games, dominate training. So yeah, just the standard's super high, and we keep it high for that reason. We set out goals at the beginning of the year. Even going into this last game against Charlotte, we still have a goal, a point total that we want to reach. And we're not just satisfied with winning supporter shield and taking off that weekend in Charlotte. We still want to reach our goal that we set as a team. Whether that's clean sheets, away wins, home wins, it doesn't matter. We're still reaching for more. We're just never being satisfied is the most important thing with this group, and I think that's why we are where we're at right now.
Chris mentioned that you're a homegrown. Obviously, you came over from Orlando many years ago now. One of the things the Union are known for is their homegrown talent and bringing people through the system. What makes that so special? Because it's not like a one-off where, hey, you made it through and we're an Olympian and all this stuff. It seems like every year there's new guys coming through.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. I came up from Clearwater when I was my senior year of high school. Actually, I was like one of the latest ones to come at that age. But there's a lot of us. So you can think about it. There's Quinn, Jeremy Raffanello, Jack McGlynn was here, Mark McKenzie, Brendan Aronson, Austin Trusty. And then even the ones coming up, Frankie, Eddie Davis, Neil Pierre, Kevin Sullivan. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of talent in the youth system, and there's a lot of competition. And I think that's also what separates us as our academy standpoint is from that young age you learn that you have to fight for your position. Not everything's given. You're not guaranteed to get a homegrown spot when you join the academy. So I think that drive and determination from a young age translates into the second team and then eventually into the first team. And then you see today the result of it. It's not like these kids aren't playing minutes. We're all playing big minutes at a young age, which is different. It's happening more in MLS, but with our team specifically, it's more than the average MLS team, you could say.
Nice.
And Nathan, one final question real quick before we go. I saw you in a Tampa Bay Rays jersey. Are you a Rays fan, or do we convert you to a Phillies fan yet?
I'm born and raised kid in Tampa Bay, so.
Chris, you can't see him. He's got a hat on that says Tampa on it.
I'm a kid. Still a Tampa Bay kid at heart. Yeah, no, I love my Rays, even though we had a rough year. But yeah, I mean, as a kid growing up, I went to a bunch of Rays games when I was younger at the Trop. It's funny too, because like spring training in Clearwater is also the Phillies, which is a coincidence too. So there's a little bit of both here and there. But yeah, when the Phillies aren't playing the Rays, I'll vote for the Phillies, and then when it happens, we have to play against each other. You never know.
All right, Union defender Nathan Harriel, thank you so much for joining us here in Brotherly Love FC. Good luck for the rest of the MLS Cup playoffs. We're rooting for you. Go Union, and a big dupe from LA.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, don't go away. Brotherly Love FC comes back. We are talking women's collegiate soccer with Don Overmier from Drexel. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC. Chris O'Connell coming to you from downtown Los Angeles. I'm here covering the NLDS with the Phillies Dodgers, but today it is all about soccer this afternoon on Brotherly Love FC. Not just the Union, not just FIFA World Cup, but also Tom Loudon. We love to hear about the youth, developmental, and college and high school teams, anything Philly soccer.
Absolutely, and the highlights are coming in. This is from our friends over down in Delaware at Sporting AC, their U14 MLS Next Academy team. Little PK goal here in a win over the weekend. And once again, keep sending your clips to us on Instagram at brotherly_lovefc. We want to see them all. We want to see pictures, from all age groups, because we know every weekend's a big soccer weekend across the area.
Yeah, and Tom, we got to get some collegiate highlights into our show. That brings in our next guest, Drexel Dragons Associate Women's Coach, Soccer Coach, Don Overmier. Don, thanks for joining us here. You're our first collegiate coach to be on our show. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it, Chris. Great opportunity to be here.
Yeah, Don, let's talk about your season. How's it going with the Lady Dragons? And I see you had a lot of draws this season.
Yes, it's been an interesting one early on. I think we're tied in the nation with the draws that we have so far. Hopefully we can get beyond that. The season's going very well, though. The team has continued to progress, have been committed to driving for a playoff position. We're just 1 point out of playoffs at the moment. So we have 4 games remaining, and it's well within our control to do that. So looking forward to the remainder of the season and girls continuing to improve.
You've been doing it for a long time. Over the last 10, 15 years, how have you seen the game grow in terms of the quality of play, the participation, all that, from, you're out recruiting, from what you saw 10 years ago to what you see now?
So the youth soccer world has evolved immensely. It changes every year. New organizations popping up every 4 or 5 years or so. But in the most part, it's the sports science world has evolved to the point where it's at the youth level now, and helping athletes, just grow and develop better. The organization, the tactical understanding of the game, the availability of video now is extensive. I think everything is recorded these days. So players have the opportunity to learn from that experience. So I think just overall the game has evolved to the point where there's professional coaching almost at every level now, and that's something that in my day wasn't the case at all. So I think the evolution of youth soccer has obviously bled into the college world as well, and there's so much support available at every level. And again, the sports science world, the psychology side of the world, the sports medicine side, and it just has helped the college world evolve additionally. So.
And once a player gets to Drexel, what's a typical week look like? I mean, for athletes, collegiate athletes, with the schedule, the academic demands, what's a week look like for an athlete?
Yeah, it is very demanding on them. Obviously the college level, we're probably the only country in the world that has a high-level athletic environment with a high-level academic environment, and so that draws international players in. But for the most part, they're very committed to their studies. The university itself also supports the student athletes because they recognize the time that they're putting in to represent the university overall. So there's a lot of different support levels, but obviously academics comes first. They're in the classroom. We're trying to tailor our practice schedule around their academic schedule as well. So we may have some early mornings, we may have some evening practices just to stay out of the normal academic time period, but Drexel also incorporates kind of experiential learning opportunity with their co-op program. So some of our students may be working full-time jobs at certain parts of the year, so we're trying to kind of tailor ourselves around that. But for the most part, it's similar to every other college program. We're training 4 or 5 days a week and playing 2 games in a given weekend, and trying to fit that in and manage their health as well. But the academics is the priority, and they're there to get the education and help develop their career potential.
So obviously, college sports has been in the news a lot with a lot of the changes with NIL and with trickle-down effects of roster impacts, and it's different levels of impact. But from your point of view, how much have you seen an impact, or how much in your general women's soccer or men's college soccer has there been an impact?
Yeah, the college world is changing on a daily basis, it seems now, and with the inclusion of the revenue sharing model, which is in addition to the NIL model, where students can receive compensation from schools directly now. So there is that mid-major versus Power 4 level, that kind of the gap is separating now, where the schools that have funds are able to pay student athletes now. So from a recruiting perspective, it'll be interesting to see how that evolves over the next couple of years. But the college world, as you mentioned, it's ever changing, and there's basically new rules every quarter that are coming out. And how's that changing the recruiting world? For us, we're still competing with Power 4 conferences as much as we can with trying to get the best players into our program and the ones that fit the most. But at our level, the revenue sharing model, the NIL, hasn't really changed the women's soccer or the Olympic sports for that matter. Basketball programs, football programs are different completely, but for us it's still kind of the same college model that we've had for a long time, so there haven't been too many drastic changes in the women's soccer world or the men's soccer world for that matter. So,
sure.
And Don, I know there are a lot of youth and developmental programs in our area, many of those girls trying to get to that next collegiate level. I'd like you to stick around. I'd like to maybe help those girls get to that next level. What do they need to be doing right now? Stick around. We'd like to talk to you a little bit about that if you could.
Sure.
All right. Brotherly Love FC Bi-Coastal Edition coming back right after the break. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC, the show that's all about Philly soccer from the pro level, international level, down to the youth level. Tom, we're getting some videos in. We love to see the local videos of these kids playing.
Absolutely, videos and pictures. We had a couple videos some boys teams sent in. Now we have some pictures from the Huntington Valley Soccer Club, HVAA, their 2015 girls team. They sent us some still pictures here from their 4-1 win this weekend. The girls look great. We love seeing these pictures and shouting out all the clubs across the area, because there's all over the area. As every parent knows who does this, we're driving all weekend long, going to games all over. So keep sending the pictures into our Instagram at brotherly_love FC.
Yeah, we're putting in the miles on that. Let's get the credit for it, right, Tom? He knows
Absolutely.
it. He's a soccer dad. All right, we have a few minutes left here. We are still joined by Associate Women's Head Coach for Drexel Soccer, Don Overmier. Don, thanks for joining us. We're talking about the recruitment process. I know you've coached at Lansdale Catholic. You've coached at the collegiate level. You probably know more than anyone what it takes to get to that level. If there's a high school player who is thinking of going into that collegiate next step, what should they be doing now?
Sure, there are plenty of players out there across the youth college or the youth soccer world, and for the most part, it's narrow down your choices. Certainly, look at every aspect of the college world. If you can combine the academics with athletics, that's fantastic. But the academic world, the college world, is what's going to set you up for your career in the long term. We'd love all of our players to become professional players and make millions and millions of dollars. But as you look at statistics, it's what, maybe 5% of the college or the college athletes go on to play professionally, probably even less than that. But so for the youth players, it's just be honest and open, have clear communication. Send out, if you're communicating with coaches via email, text messages, whatever the form is, just be honest with them, be open, be genuine about who you are, and make sure that it's the right fit. Certainly have advocates on your side, whether they're high school coaches, club coaches, who are willing to speak out on your behalf, and that goes a long way. Mentioned before that video is pervasive throughout the youth soccer world. So as many clips as you can, full game video, things like that. We rely on that more and more now. So, but it's clear and consistent communication, I think, is the biggest thing for youth players, to have a good communication base, stay in touch with the coaches. We have extremely busy schedules. It's nothing personal if we're not able to get back to you immediately, but just be open and honest, and kind of narrow those options down to realistic opportunities that help you with your career development, education, but also the soccer level that best fits. And there's opportunities out there, and everyone can find a home somewhere, whether soccer is involved in that, at the club level, even at the varsity level of the college world, and just continue to play for the love of the game and have a passion for it.
So we were talking before, and one of the things that caught my attention when I went through this process with my oldest daughter recently was the actual numbers. And if you look at the numbers, you see them right here. This is for women's soccer, because that's what we're talking about. There's over 300, this is from the NCAA, over 377,000 high school girls soccer players playing across the country. Out of that number, just about 30,000 play at college, and that's any level. Because you have people say, oh, D1, D2, D3. So that's 7.9%. So, talk a little bit about casting a wide net, because if you're playing college soccer at any level, you're one of the 8% of high school players who got to that point. But sometimes I think people get hung up on different things, and you really have to cast a wide net, because like you said, it's not just finding the perfect soccer place. It's also finding, the school that you want to be at for the next 4 years, the environment, the big, small, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's about demographics, location, type of school that you're looking at. Drexel itself is a very urban school. We understand that that's not everybody's quintessential campus environment that they're looking for. So there's a lot of unique factors that will weed down the natural selection of where it is you're looking to go. So I would encourage everyone to kind of keep soccer as a high priority in the decision, but also factor in everything else. And we've gotten in the NCAA world kind of to a timeline now that's a little bit more realistic than it used to be, with decisions and things like that. I would advise also, don't succumb to the peer pressure of my teammate made a decision and I'm worried that I'm missing things. And it should be a fun opportunity, exploring different schools, seeing what fits with what each individual's needs are, and not being pressured into those situations, whether it's outside pressure, internal pressure. But like I said, it should be a fun opportunity and experience of seeing different parts of the country, if that's what you're looking for. Staying close to home, you want to be supported by your parents and having that close-knit environment, or whether it's a completely new experience that you're looking for. So many things available in the college experience just in general. If athletics can be a competitive part of that, that's fantastic, if that's what you're looking for.
All right, Don, that is all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking some time talking about the collegiate level, and don't be a stranger to the show.
Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right. That was Don Overmier, Associate Women's Coach for the Drexel Lady Dragons. Thank you so much for joining us. Tom, that wraps up another edition of Brotherly Love FC. Thanks again from out here in LA. Fingers crossed for the Phillies, fingers crossed for the Flyers, Eagles, and the Union. Thanks for joining us. Keep sending in those videos and those pictures of some youth soccer highlights, whatever you got. We're all about soccer here on Brotherly Love FC. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.